Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I wanted to get into this video right here because I didn't have a chance to watch this fight when it happened live. I tried to, but I really had a hard time paying attention. Scott Quigg and Oscar Valdez, they put on Saturday night what many people were calling fight of the year thus far. You know, it was a hell of a fight from everything I heard, and I went and I watched it. I finally watched it. I had a chance to score the fight, and everything people said about that fight was absolutely true. This was a great fight between two of the top featherweights in the world, and honestly, I actually regret the fact that I watched Mikey Garcia versus Lipinets over Quigg versus Valdez. I think that was a very stupid choice on my end. So before I even get into the fight and what happened and how I score the rounds, let me first start off by saying that this fight, just considering the circumstances, with the rain coming down, Quigg not making weight, despite all the things that could have made this a really, really bad fight, or a bad night of boxing in the main event for Top Rank on ESPN. This fight, with how it turned out, was everything great about boxing. You had Oscar Valdez, who is the prototype Mexican warrior, fantastic body puncher. He comes to like he's one of those fighters that whenever he steps between those ropes, he comes to fight. He doesn't really turn in dull performances. And then Scott Quigg's a guy, from the UK that has a reputation for having a great work rate himself. So you knew the style had a chance to be a fight that had a lot of fireworks, and that's exactly what it was. So, I'm going to put some respect on the names of Oscar Valdez and Scott Quigg because both of those guys are true warriors. But to get into my round-by-round breakdown of the fight, we'll start it off like this. So round one, Oscar Valdez, he's just getting off first. He's clearly shows in the first round that he is the faster fighter, that he has the advantage in speed. Obviously, one of Oscar Valdez's trademarks is to go to the body. So he showed early on that his left hook to the body was going to be something that he targeted all night, and that's what he did. Quigg, from his end, he was feinting, trying to gauge the speed of Valdez, but he hadn't yet adjusted to it yet. Valdez getting off the cleaner, sharper, more effective punches. So Valdez, to me, won that round. So we gave that round to Valdez. Then we go to round two, right? So Scott Quigg, this is the round where he's beginning to open up a little more. Valdez is using his legs, to kind of control the pace of the fight, to control the round. And as he's using his legs, as he's getting him to the center of the ring, moving backwards, moving forwards, everything is to set up the body shots that he was landing. So he would throw a jab to the head, left hook to the body, sometimes a left hook to the body, a double jab to the head. He varied his punches really, really well. And because of the speed, because of the movement, because of the body punching, I think, and Quigg still not quite figuring out his timing, I gave him that round as well. So through 2 rounds, I have Valdez up 2-0. So going to round 3, Scott Quigg. This is the round where I think Quigg finally adjusts to the speed of Oscar Valdez. He's beginning to find his timing, adjusting to the speed, moving forward with the high guard, blocking a lot of shots as he's moving forward with the high guard. And then, he was doing a lot of catch and counter. So he would move forward. If he felt a punch on the glove, boom, he shoots. And he was scoring a lot of nice counter punches. And it was this round where Quigg began to work himself into the fight. And I think, although Quigg isn't the most, he's not the fastest guy in the world, and it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing to watch him, catch and counter, but it's effective nonetheless. So that was a round that got Quigg on the board, 10-9 Quigg that round. So 2-1, Valdez through 3 rounds. Going into round 4, Quigg, he's beginning to find more success early on with the catch and counter. He's doing the same thing, applying the pressure moving forward, but catching on his wrists and his arms. He's got big forearms. If you guys remember George Foreman and Joe Frazier, they used to block punches with their forearms, and Quigg was kind of employing the same thing with his movements. So he was doing that. Valdez, though, as Quigg is doing that, Valdez is doing the more consistent work throughout the round. So if Quigg had a minute's worth of good work, Valdez had about 2 minutes worth of good work, and effective punching. Even showed some good defensive ability as he's slipping punches going backwards. So that was a round I think that swing. You could deem it as a swing round, but I gave it to Valdez. So 3-1 in favor of Valdez going into round 5. In round 5, right? To me, this is at this point of the fight, Quigg's best round of the fight thus far. This is the round where he hurt Valdez, and that happened towards the latter part of the round. I believe he caught him with I want to say, an over right hand, and then landed flush on his chin. Valdez has this habit where he moves back in straight lines, and just boom, he caught him right there on the chin. And Quigg pounced on him. He was smothering him. He was getting off some real good shots, and he was really putting it on Valdez. Valdez, credit to him, he hung tough. He was landing some good body shots. But make no mistake about it, in that particular round, round 5, he was getting his ass torn up by Scott Quigg. So it was a fantastic round for Quigg. I gave that to him, so he finally gets on the board, his second round of the fight. So close fight thus far going into the midway point of the fight, 3 rounds to 2 in favor of Valdez. Now round 6, Oscar Valdez outworks Quigg in that round. Didn't really land a lot of big shots, but he was landing some jabs here and there. He was throwing a lot of eye-catching shots, a lot of them hitting the glove of Quiggs, but he was still able to land more, dictate more, and Quigg even seemed to be a little bit frustrated in that round, because that was the round, if you guys remember, where he actually threw Oscar Valdez to the floor. So not the best round of the fight, but a round that Valdez definitely won. So 4 rounds to 2 for Valdez going into round 7. And in round 7, this is a round where I would say Quigg improved. He improved on his 6th round performance, but still getting outworked, still getting outboxed by Valdez, who at this point of the fight, he's beginning to use his legs a little more. And I think a lot of these rounds are very close. They really were very close. But the difference, I think, in every round was the fact that Oscar Valdez was a little more multifaceted, a little bit more nuanced in his skill set, being able to move, being able to slip punches, being able to show some defensive ability, despite the fact that he's one of those Mexican warriors. So that was really the difference in the fight in that round between Quigg and Valdez. So going into round 8, Quigg is landing the cleaner shots of the round. Despite landing few, he's landing the cleaner, more effective shots that round. Valdez in this round is throwing a lot of the same combinations he throws, a lot of eye-catching shots. And to the untrained eye, maybe some of them look like they're landing. But in round 8, Quigg is doing a good job of blocking the shots with his forearms, dipping and slipping, just overall showing good defensive ability and the ability to really, despite not having the most speed in the world, be effective against a guy like Oscar Valdez. So, I get that round to Quigg. 5 rounds, 3 in favor of Valdez going into the 9th round. And in the 9th round, this is the round where Quigg lands a steady diet of right hands upside Oscar Valdez's head. He just kept landing right hand after Valdez early on in that round. And this is the round I think we saw some of the best exchanges of the fight. Many of them were won by Quigg in the 9th round. Valdez did break Quigg's nose in this round. I believe it was I think it was with a jab, but his nose it got really wide and started swelling up really badly. But that was a round where Quigg was winning the exchanges, and he was very effective in that round. So I gave that round to Quigg. And going into the championship round, I had this very close fight. I had Valdez by the skin of his teeth up 5 rounds to 4. So Quigg is very much in this fight, and it was up to him to see if he could see this out and beat Valdez. So we get to the championship rounds. Round 10, Oscar Valdez hurts Quigg early in the round, setting the tone for the championship rounds with a left hook to the body. Quigg got clip with the left hook to the body. He kind of just froze up, and you could tell that it took the wind out of him, and he really wasn't able to move. Then Valdez started with his own, steady diet of right hands to Scott Quigg's head, and he was able to really make his presence felt in that round, and it was an easy round to give to him, so I gave it to Valdez. 6 rounds to 4, heading into round 11, and into round 11, Quigg landed some thunderous shots on Valdez. Valdez, or actually I should say Quigg began employing some Andre Ward-like tactics, hitting Oscar Valdez below the belt. He kind of had to pause for a little bit, but as the round was going on, I thought Valdez had a good sustained work rate. He hurt Quigg towards the end of the round as well. So based on that, I gave Valdez that round as well. So 7 rounds for Valdez to Quigg's 4. And then in the 12th round, this is a round where Valdez kind of just got more on his toes a little more. And he just landed the cleaner shots, rendered Scott Quigg ineffective. So my final score as terms of the rounds I gave each fighter. There were no knockdowns, but I gave Valdez 8 of the 12 rounds, so 8-4 Valdez. Very great fight. I thought Quigg came to fight, Valdez came to fight. I think it was a great fight for boxing. These dudes fought in the rain because they were fighting in the StubHub Center, which is a outdoor facility, and it was raining, so it kind of looked like a movie at some points. But these guys, they were showing great as far as Valdez. He showed the ability to sit there and brawl with this guy on the inside, fighting in close quarters, like many Mexican fighters do. But then he actually got on his toes in different points of the fight, and I think he showed that he's not a one-dimensional fighter. And for Oscar Valdez, like, he's a tremendous fighter. In that featherweight division, I think there's some great fights for Oscar Valdez. You've got Leo Santa Cruz, which is a fight that I genuinely want to see. I think if Leo Santa Cruz can get through his fight with Abner Mares, that's a fight I know will be very hard to make because of the political side of boxing. But I would love to see Valdez take on Leo Santa Cruz. Both those guys are big stars in the LA area. I think that'd be a big fight. That's the kind of fight that you could put in the Staples Center, and I think would sell a good amount over there in LA. Both these guys stylistically have great styles. Santa Cruz he throws a lot of combinations. Valdez throws a lot of combinations, but he throws combinations to really put your lights out. So I like Valdez. He none of his fights were boring, and I'm kind of mad at myself that I didn't watch his fight because he's never disappointed me watching his fights thus far in his career, and he's a good fighter, man. Like, I think for him, he should really take the rest of the year off because his last 3 fights, going from Ogawa to the Mariaga fight to now, and his other fight against, actually his last 4 fights, even his fight against Genesis Cervania or whatever his name was, like, all 4 of those fights have been wars, and he's been putting himself through the grinders. So I think he really just needs to take some time off. He probably would need, if I were him, I would not say change your style, but just refine it a little bit. Like, you can move, you got good defensive ability. You don't got to be taking all this punishment. Your career is going to be really short. Like, it's fun to watch, but I know it's not fun to go through. And I would like to see Oscar Valdez have a long, fun career in boxing. So hopefully, he can do the right thing, take the rest of this year off, and honestly just, like, be ready for 2019. Because stay in the gym, but I'm saying, like, don't fight another one of these top level guys that have another war, because he's had a lot of them, and it's never good to have that many wars back to back to back. So we'll see what happens. As for Scott Quigg, he comes up short again in his in another big fight. He came up short 2 years ago against Carl Frampton. He comes up short here against Scott Quigg, but he gave a fantastic account of himself. He's a good fighter. I got nothing but respect for Quigg because he was clearly outgunned as far as, I would even say, like, power, speed, and overall skill set. But he still showed that despite that, he could be effective against a top fighter like Oscar Valdez. So I would still like to see Scott Quigg against any one of the top featherweights in the world, because I think he definitely earned it. I think both these guys earned it. And if you're really a boxing fan, you put some respect on these guys' names because they gave the fans a real good fight on Saturday. So that's my little review of the fight. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Oscar Valdez versus Scott Quigg. Who did you have winning? Give me your scorecards. Let me know who you would like to see Oscar Valdez and Scott Quigg fight next in that featherweight division, where there's a lot of good fights to be made. So let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every video, you can love me, you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.